In this video, I would like to talk about some tips for reading cartoons when handling database questions. The first tip I would like to give you is to read captions carefully, because they often give a lot of clues about what this cartoon is about. Look for the information such as the year published, and then who created the cartoon or who is the cartoonist, and then what event it is about. Also, we also need to find information about where it is published. These are often written in the caption. This information written in the captions are often important clues about what the cartoon is about. Let's take a look at this cartoon over here. We can see that it is published in 1912 and it's about 5 nations, 5 important European nations, and there's Balkan troubles written on the plot, so we know that it is happening before the First World War, and because it's in 1912, then we know that it's about the First Balkan War. As for the 5 important European nations, we know that because it's about First Balkan War, it's about Bulgaria, Serbia, Greece, Montenegro, and Ottoman Empire. So we can see how many information we can get from the wordings and the caption alone. So make sure to read the captions carefully when handling database questions, especially when reading cartoon. And then my second tip for you is to read the cartoon in a lot of details, like a detective. So we do not leave or let any details go when reading cartoons. Just like how detectives will look into every single detail in order to solve their cases. So, example of such details is some small people at the back. So usually we will miss these details, but sometimes these small people can actually symbolize something. Also, facial expressions of those characters inside the cartoon are often indicators about different attitudes or views. Now this comes to our third tip, which is to notice the face and animals inside the cartoon, because they are important visual clues that will often give you some ideas about the attitudes and the views of the cartoonist. For example, for faces and features of different characters inside the cartoon, they are often indicators to show what kind of character or what kind of country it is representing. For example, the clothes they are wearing, the facial features of the characters usually symbolizes certain countries. For example, Hitler's symbolic mustache, and usually for American characters, they will wear American hats or wear stars and stripes, etc. As for animals, often we will see certain animals fixed as some symbols of different countries. For example, when we see an eagle, it usually refers to the United States of America, whereas bears usually refers to Russia. For example, let's take a look at this cartoon over here. We can see this man over here is representing USA because he's wearing stars and stripes. For example, the stars on his head and then the stripes at his pants. So we can see from this, it looks like a USA flag, so it represents USA. As for this cartoon over here, we can notice the bear is labeled as Russia, so we can know that usually bears are referring to Russia, and this vulture over here refers to Germany, and this dragon over here refers to China, which is often the symbol of China itself. We can see these different animals all usually are used to symbolize different countries. For example, the eagle over here, we can see it's referring to USA. So, also, let's take a look at the facial expression of this dragon over here. It is asleep, and or dying, depending on how you interpret the cartoon. So these are some details that you need to look for when doing database questions and reading cartoons in order to interpret them well. So in conclusion, the first tip is to not miss any details, including the captions and the facial expressions and also the animals inside the cartoon and small people in the cartoon. And also read captions carefully and look for all kinds of information you can get as clues to read the cartoon, and also be familiar with historical events, especially the years of big events, because you need these clues in order to interpret what kind of cartoon it is about. So this is the end of all the tips I have for reading cartoon. And the most important thing is to, besides following these tips, you also have to practice often. So thanks for watching the video.